Now suppose there is simultaneous change in both demand and supply. This simultaneous change can be of two types. One, both demand and supply changing in the same direction. Second, both demand and supply changing in different directions. Demand rising, supply falling, or supply rising, demand falling, like that. First we take the first case, changing in the same direction. There are two possibilities, either both increase or both decrease. Suppose both demand and supply increase. Suppose both demand and supply increase. In terms of diagram, it will mean, suppose both demand and supply curves shift from their equilibrium position. Before we take up the diagrams, let us analyze what is likely to happen. There are three possibilities. There are three possibilities. One, price may rise. Second, price may fall. Third, price may remain unchanged. There are three possibilities. There is no one possibility, but there are three possibilities. Let us take up each possibility one by one. First possibility emerges when increase in demand is higher than increase in supply. Increase in demand is higher than increase in supply. In that case, price rises, कीमत बढ़ जाती है. क्लियर है? डिमांड ज़्यादा बढ़ी, सप्लाई कम बढ़ी, तो there will be excess demand, ultimately leading to rise in price. Effects are the same, which we have chain of effects. If we have to analyze, they are the same. Excess demand से क्या होगा और ultimately price will rise. Second possibility is increase in demand is less than increase in supply. Clearly, demand कम बढ़ी, supply ज़्यादा बढ़ी, there is going to be excess supply. And you know that excess supply ultimately, through the chain of effects, which we have already analyzed many times, through the chain of effects will ultimately lead to price to fall. Price will fall. Then there is a third possibility, increase in demand is equal to increase in supply. There is neither excess supply nor excess demand. Therefore, price remains unchanged. Let me remind you that if you have to write chain of effects, they are the same which we have already explained. We need not explain them again and again. Let me repeat. In the first case, there will be excess demand. यहाँ क्या होगा? Excess demand. Second case, excess supply. In the third case, there is neither excess demand nor excess supply. So if in the exam you get a question on the effect of simultaneous shifts, you have to point out all these three cases, that there are three possibilities. If you are asked to explain, give chain of effects of one and about the others, I don't think such a long question is going to be asked in the examination. They will, at the most, if they insist on asking chain of effects, they will ask only one of these three cases. The question may be, suppose both demand and supply increase. Explain the case where price increases. Then you have to explain only one of the cases. Now, we have seen three cases. Now, let us represent them on a diagram. We take the first one, quantity, price, y-axis, x-axis. Now, in this case, we have to take demand, shift in demand or increase in demand greater than increase in supply. So to accommodate, it is better to take demand curve a little below, and then so that mark as D1 and mark this as D2. Then we have to take supply curve S1. Now note this distance. The increase in demand is greater than increase in supply, so it's better to be increase in supply to be less and visibly less. खाली less नहीं, दूर से नजर भी आना चाहिए कि ये काफी less है. Your original equilibrium was E1 and new equilibrium is E2. Original quantity was Q1 and original price is P1. The new price is P2 and new quantity is Q2. This conforms to our first case where increase in demand is greater than increase in supply, leading to rise in price from OP1 to OP2, at the same time also leading to increase in the quantity. The other case where you find that increase in demand is less than increase in supply, price falling. Now here, your supply curve will shift in a greater way, your demand curve will shift in a lesser way. So let us first take up the supply curve, say S, then shift it in a greater way, S2. Then you have demand curve, say D1, and shift in a visibly less, D2. Visibly less मैं इसलिए इंसिस्ट कर रहा हूँ कि पेपर चेकर को गलत फहमी नहीं होनी चाहिए कि आपने ठीक डायग्राम ड्रॉ किया है या नहीं. So everything should be clearly visible. So this is your E1 equilibrium. This is new equilibrium. This is Q1. This is P1. quantity rises and at the same time price falls. Price falls and quantity rises. अब देखिए इसमें थोड़ा results में फर्क है. In this case, you find that both price and quantity are rising. In this case, price is falling and it is because there is excess supply. And excess supply will lead to fall in price. And at the same time, a greater demand, that is rising, Q. So this is the second situation. Now we can take the third situation. Don't forget to write what you show on the x-axis and y-axis. ये ध्यान करिए, ये गलती आपसे नहीं होनी चाहिए. Now in this case, demand D1, D2. अब जितना डिस्टेंस इन दोनों में शिफ्ट किया है उतना ही सप्लाई कर्व में शिफ्ट करना है. इसमें कई बार गलती हो सकती है, तो गलती से बचने का तरीका ये है, first you draw the supply curve S1, then you mark the price P1, Q1, extend it